There's a lot of trust that comes in the lethality of presenting pressure and performance like that. So we get to see if that actually kind of promotes from the front. Also a key note, shout out over to our main man in Clutch Key, as they are able to remind us, this will be UT Dallas's first ever bid to CECC in Valorant. So that this is, I mean, it's guaranteed that the program will have someone marching for it. And this is also the first time Texas A&M will not automatically win Valorant in its 3 years of running it. So kind of huge. We're gonna see immediate pressure for one to kind of keep your main sentinel lurking. And ISO has been such a mainstay, but they are put to the floor. Big trades early.
Yeah, I mean, just a flood right out onto the site. Great Soviet utility, though, to break basically everything Cypher had set up here. You're going to get the plant down, and as we've seen so much in this meta currently in Valorant, we're going to see a retake coming on 4v4. Nothing too crazy. Shift sitting over here chilling. Actually has a TP right on himself, so this might be a little decent fake to try to fake that pressure towards long as the team is rolling in here for the retake.
Glory catching Roman, as Roman had actually been kind of that entry site. Oh, what a just dink! Quick, be able to get at least one. Third one on the way, no. So it becomes Omen v Omen, getting a quick diff. Gonna actually put out the recon dart as quickly as they can. King will get scanned out, but it actually goes to the side. They have to just spam. Do they think they're gonna stick it or not? A shock dart going out, does that do enough damage? Oh, they get him just in the nick of time. A late term pistol. That one will go the way of the varsity gang.
Yeah, varsity gang is there for a reason. I mean, it got a little hairy towards the end there, Monkey Moon. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I'm sitting there, I'm looking at it. That bar keeps extending out just little bit by little bit, and I'm like, are they gonna be able to ninja this and just get in there? But fortunately enough, the shock dart is going to be able to do enough damage there just thanks to the spam. They were spamming the exact right spot. That's the beauty of planting on default sites, is you know where to hit, you know where to left click your mouse to maybe get some damage off to allow that utility to do its job.
Yeah, I know that you know where I'm stuck in terms of ranks. So like whenever the patch came through for everyone not being able to actually ping through the smokes anymore, you get to see some of that actually hit. And this one will actually be first purchased for at least a couple in favor of the varsity. You're gonna have the double tap coming through as Viz will try to take immediate space. And that plant, he's actually got it in hand. He's gonna plant for window. Okay, this is up for that long position, so they're gonna play very aggressive. You got to be able to take it away from them. Both their duelists are actually lagging behind from sewer.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really mind it, right? You were able to take that space for free after the initial pick, and you know that the Eclipse team is sitting here with a little bit less guns, a little bit less util. They're probably going to be stacking and playing off each other's lives. Not really a bad call there. Little swing right there coming up from Roman. Are you going to be able to find one? The answer is yes. Kabo is going to be falling here. Viz going to be able to find one. One enemy remains, and they are dropped by Roma. Just a great job of playing all the angles on the site. You get the plant down, you hold it down, you're up 2-0.
Easy, quick cleanup as well. We saw the only kill be from that banana long of A after at least a swift deluge of some classic fire goes down. But so now it will be the Eclipse side of this comet. I guess what, if there's this many comets from UTD, does that make it like a meteor shower? Is that, are comets and meteors not the same, right? I'm not a galaxtician.
I'm not either.
Feel like that's not the
I
same.
studied accounting, unfortunately, so I couldn't really give you a great answer on that, but I feel like they're the same thing. At least close enough to being the same thing, you know what I mean? So,
same family.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I just saw Haley's comment. She waits, said, why you always running in place? But we're going to see these couple of peaks here by the Omen lurking over on A. Are you going to be able to find anything out of that heavy default coming out here from the varsity squad? And it's not really surprising, right? You know you're at a gun disadvantage. This is going to be the first buy round coming out for the Eclipse squad. We're going to see how they feel it out, right? But this is a pretty slow hit, but it's starting to feel like everybody's going towards A, and Kendrick is going to have the answer. The first blood on the Omen. Now, are you going to take advantage of that space, or are you going to fake this and push back to the other side?
And that was actually the one of the lone purchases that we got out of this group. They're going to use the contingency to get themselves at least a wall of separation. Their double tap shield not quite activated, and that means there's some damage. They try to use at least that decoy to get some fire from beyond that smoke. But with all the pressure and all the initial contact running towards A, you have the slightest rotation over. Though you still have the trip on, you still got a camera on C, and they know that that call will probably be coming up as they see their counter spy moving from inside of a garage and now outwards, and we're right back to C again.
It's not really a surprise here. I love the rotation. I love the ability to go ahead and get that first blood and shift on over. Knowing that you have that gun advantage too, being able to get established on site is huge. But Shift is going to be sitting here with the outlaw on long. holding down that angle. We're going to see if anybody, including nobody, can get anything going here. Double tap. Oh, you're blind and you just domed him. Make it 2. Make it 3. Viz says what's up. Kendrick comes in and finishes out, and it's 3 for the varsity squad.
Viz turning their B squad into an Aim Labs challenge. My goodness, Viz. Wow. Pure vision. Dude is looking great. 5-1, making it clean. And unfortunately for the Eclipse side of UT Dallas, they don't get to take advantage of their initial buy-up, so breaking down the economy, and that could have long-term ramifications to run against them. Varsity will force all the rest of their juniors to have to go into some sheriffs and some light shields and just look for better days.
Yeah, sheriffs are capable of that one tap though, so you might be able to get yourself a couple good shots and have a decent round, but getting this aggressive is not the choice. Is Kendrick going to be able to take out the Cypher? And that is immediately the go button after Shift especially gets that pick. We're rushing towards C. We're getting the plant down. Guess what? You're going to have to deal with it. The lurk here from Roman. Are you going to be able to find the frag? Yes, you are with the Guardian, and that is going to be a 5v2 coming into this. Glory on the flank here. Going to avoid the Cypher trip, but you still have so much work to do against this squad.
The one positive of them might come out of this is, do they expect him to come out of this window position? That timing might be there to see something in B, but none of that ever manifests. Shift is going to be right off of this door angle. They do at least get one. The next one will fall over to Gamble, so he'll pick up a weapon. Let's see if he can do any extra damage. That's at least a couple. Make it a handful. As we get a 4th. What in the heck? One extra shot could be forthcoming. They got that plant done a little while ago. Gamble is running with very light feet. They've got wheels, but they're also thrown to the side wall. Wow. Okay. You know what? That was looking pretty glitzy and glammy there for the Eclipse gang.
It was looking pretty bleak until Gamble decided to take everybody's head off. It's literally that simple. Get a couple with the Sheriff. Okay. Pick up the Vandal. See what kind of damage you can do. Great one taps coming in, and sometimes, you know, it may not be ideal, but you had the Blade Storm pulled up now, so you will be able to have at least a little bit of recursion on the economy here coming into the next round, which is kind of ideal. But it's looking like this is just going to be a rush down basically towards the A site. Hey, we have guns, we have a Blade Storm, let's see what's going to happen. It's going to be Gamble taking a couple pot shots. Not going to find much. The Blade's coming back out. That's going to be hit, but still going to be revealed. And now the ISO pool, only a Sheriff in hand. Are you going to be able to land 2 shots before they find your head? The answer is no. Viz and Maker are going to combine, and this is just a shredding right now on this A site.
What a good moment. So cerebral to recognize, okay, my teammate, they're going to rely onto that Blade Storm pop, and they've already shown their hand that they've only got a Sheriff, so great job to pressure them into it. Owl Drone will identify that at least tripwires nearby. Do they know that there's numbers? Looking to shock dart anyone that's on that wall, as they will scan them out. That Paranoia ready to go. So they want to try and re-enter, but do they? I feel like this is going to be a save overall. They can't get a pick from beyond that that vision just being narrowed down. So Eclipse will walk out. Glory will find at least Viz trying to get another. You know, they'll go 1 for 1. And even with the X-ray, well, it's just seeing what damage you can be done at the end of the round, and Roman did a lot. So hopefully that Blade Storm there, Visionary, is able to give them some extra weaponry, but this is feeling pretty rough going to round number 6.
And Gamble's going to be able to pick one up. It's looking like a force up, basically. We're going to see a couple Guardians, a Bulldog. This is kind of the point of no return, right? You're down 5 rounds. You don't want this to continue snowballing. You have to find a way to get around. So you force up, and if you lose here, you know you're probably dropping 1 to 2 of the next rounds as well, which is the hardest part of making these decisions. But we're going to see what ends up happening. The varsity team is showing by their varsity so far here. 5-0, a little ridiculous.
Yeah, this team has also not dropped a map yet through this competition. Unlike the group into double elim brackets that we have before. Oh my goodness, Shift is selling this. He's literally just selling straight into the wall. They never got to see it. It was great acting. Was thinking of an Oscar, but no! The Golden Man will go over to the King.
Look at the flank too. They haven't pinched.
Do they expect that? They're leaving the back wide open. Didn't see it at all. You got the Empress. They're gonna get a visual. They're be able to put out the Leer. Oh my goodness, good for a couple, and suddenly this has become a 4-1.
Viz, why is your knife out, buddy? Oh my God, the timing is atrocious.
No!
What is okay? He turned around. Thank God. I thought we were about to see some just absolute gobsmacking stuff happen there. I thought he was going to find at least 3 somehow by getting a backstab out of nowhere. But no, the king turns around. UTD is able to pull off that force. Gets the round. We're going to see what Glory is going to be able to pull here. They do have the ability to buy them, so I think Gamble is probably going to end up buying Glory here and getting them a rifle. We're seeing a ton of Vandals here and one Sheriff, or I'm sorry, one Phantom on each side. I'm kind of curious. Ever since the Phantom got that buff to do 140 at basically all ranges, I expected to see a little bit more of them. But if the Vandal's a comfort weapon, you might as well use it, right?
Yeah, you know, Phantom's also such a great mid-range. I use it all the time to be able to just feel a more even spread of fire. Kenrick is going to go right up into B. We have not seen a B execute in a while. You're going to have the Hunter's Fury also trying to at least force them to kind of relegate back. And this becomes a 3v4 opening seconds. A lot of bodies dropping out. Shock Dart to at least check corners before Roman just wants to get into this garage. It feels like more of C. Even though they don't really have a set way that they want to go, they have very limited information, and Kevbo is just going to take this deep intersection over towards C long, but that spike has moved nowhere.
And it really can, right? You don't really have any map control sitting there. Shift is going to go ahead and blow into this. Okay, spots one out, takes the teleport out, so kind of smart. We're able to spot one out. We know one's over towards the B site, but are we going to go ahead and decide to re-hit this after the teleport is the question, because you look at the defense setup right now, and everybody's basically collapsing on that, and you're going to have one on window pincering behind. This is going to be disgusting if that's the case.
That someone's right on side. King will have to back up, but only the king can wear this crown. He'll stay right around that doorway and wait for his teammate to get there. The paranoia is going to be casted outwards. They look to escape it, but they go bouncing, and Kevbo, that was the longest spin from down C long all the way through that entry from that mid position, and they were going to be the one that no one could get past the guardsmen thereof. So UT Dallas find a couple going the way of their Eclipse squad, and the eco it's starting to feel on both sides.
Yeah, it's starting to hurt a little bit. I'm kind of surprised to see the operator on the Reyna instead of the Jet here. I mean, like, by all means, like Kevbo, if that's your gun, you trust yourself with it. You got to get the kill, though, because you have to be able to dismiss. You have to be able to play that angle. Jet can miss and get away. Oh. That's not the case here. Oh, my Kevbo. Okay, doesn't even need it. They walled it for him.
That's a good program, helping both sides. You know, and everyone feel great, especially Kevbo. Not the one that got a giant 50 cal through the old stomach. That's an extra belly button. And that is the tiniest angle. Are we playing Rainbow Six Siege? What's happening? Okay, Kevbo's... Oh, but they will get found out. Kendrick was waiting for anyone, and that's just bonus.
See if they're going to find an extra one. Nobody might have the best timing in the world right here. Kendrick looking to teleport over to the ace. This is genius. They've already taken that space on long as well. Going to cancel it as well. So you're going to have the lurking Omen just kind of sitting here. But I think they might have called this out. Are you going to be able to check it is the question. No, Kendrick's going to be able to find another one. Get plausible deniability, but he's in the smoke menu. He couldn't find it. Everybody now spotted on the A site, and this is going to be a 3v3 retake.
Oh my god, all my Astras know about how that feels. Well, apparently it happens to Ghosty Boys just the same. Viz will back up, he'll have Sewer covered, but everyone is just gonna hard enter from this position. They go fishing. That is Roman that takes out Gamble as we go into the infinite domain. It's all of one extra Glories by themselves. So, be a 1v2. They will scan him out with the neural theft, a very low player with an Omen. Oh, with an Omen. Can they make it happen? They do. Glory goes for glory, goes for gold, and is able to turn this 8th round into a big win.
Glory, glory, hallelujah. You're spotted. You got a dart on you, and you still hit 2 headshots. I don't even blame him for shooting bodies at that point. I'm sorry. We're going to see the replay here. Obviously, this first shot does right before the ISO wall pops up, too. That's ridiculous timing. And then one, guess what? We pre-fire, we reset. Doming a second. Glory, that is nuts.
In case you guys didn't know how the contingency wall forms, it's from the foot upwards. So, if you have a shot, you just gotta take it before those pixels become perfect and unbangable. So, wow. Great job there by Eclipse, keeping this one spicy. Remember, this went 13-11 Whenever they saw each other in the bracket earlier on, they're trying to track down Glory. He is playing the long game of having to dodge and dip and dive through all the obstacles. Double tap is online. Kembo will find a kill. Shift to the floor.
I'm gonna go ahead and rotate up to heaven as well. You're gonna be able to get the plant down here, but you're already a man down. I mean, you got to dip, dive, dodge, duck, and dive if you really want to make this happen. Kempo has been disgusting, and there's just another operator shot. Easy enough. Going to drop out. Dismisses well. Madland, what?
He just needed another one in the short. He wouldn't be able to do it himself. Roman's stuck in a corner. It's a 1v3, but making none. The defuse will be coming through, and that is just sick nasty with it from Kevbo. If you're learning how to be able to play the dang game, take your initial shots, have that little shorty in your back pocket, and apparently you can just dismiss and come out of it. And that honestly took me by surprise as much as them. They didn't think they would have anything to really pick up, but the shorty is such a spicy idea, and that forces the timeout. Varsity Squad's like, dang, they did what?
I mean, hey, playing Reyna on a map like this, right? Like, I understand comfort picks. I understand going into it, but like, if you follow like the professional meta at all, you're not expecting to see a Reyna here. You're also not expecting to see the Reyna be the opper when you have a Jet on the same team, right? So like, that's two kind of curveballs that have already been thrown. The third one is the ability to get your pick, dive out of the window, and then hit the dismiss key. Like, the amount of galaxy brain that required actually blows my mind. I'm not gonna kid with you. Like, the ability to be like, I got that pick. Okay, we're gonna re-peek for half a second. We're gonna jump out of this window and hit dismiss before I hit the ground so I don't take any damage. And then I'm gonna shorty somebody from 15 feet away because for some reason the shorty still does that. Yeah, ridiculous play right there by Kevbo.
That's a huge energy moment for their team. You see what's on the other side now for the varsity team. They're going to have half shields. They're talking about what they really want to push into this with. It feels like they are going to run with at least kind of force buying into this, not trying to max out the creds because they know worst case scenario they'll be tied after this and they'll have extra time to be able to save. They'll also go to max loser creds on the other end of it. But Kebbo, there's something about non-jet, non-chamber style players that then go into the op. It's like you get a Raze that wants to op. You get a Reyna that wants to op. It almost feels like they have less movement than that, but Kevbo has been basically freewheeling across this, and look how confident they are. Ain't no one coming through that window because it's fully smoked off, and they're trying to completely cut this one off at mid.
I mean, the beautiful thing about that too is like the practices and protocols are in place, right? Like you had Glory sitting there actually covering that window pop out, and oh my Kevbo. Okay, like that's great. Good shot. Viz just dropping like a fly right there. You want to run ISO? I'll show you why Reyna's better apparently. I mean, just wild. Love to see it. The king. Oh, okay. Kevo is rotated towards garage. I found another pick. And guess what? He's lurking mid again. And look at the varsity team. They're like, nah, bro, we're going A. We're not dealing with that op. I don't want to be anywhere near that at this point.
It's the reposition that's so strong. You cannot just continue to be in one spot, especially if you're going to hard op into it. So knowing what they can be able to do, they get the flash that comes out. Gamble's able to clear out shift, and this has all just gone wrong. No one had a chance from the varsity side. Through 10 rounds, you would think that the Eclipse side of this Comet was the better of it. But UTD, in its entirety, we go to round number 11, we're all tied.
I mean, these teams are familiar, and they probably scrim a lot together. Like, what is 5 up, 5 down here? Like, you can't counter strat effectively. You have to build the eco and just overwhelm them that way. Like, I'm so confused as to why we have 5 rounds going both ways. Just with how familiar these teams are. You know they scrim together. You know they're going to do everything else. Like, it's obviously 2 very good teams. That's why they're in the finals, right, Monkey Man? Like,
yeah. Oh, and this is also a moment to really kind of take advantage of not only that this is a qualifier into CECC, but imagine the absolute trash talk that can happen going into this into this next qualifier, or rather towards the end of this. Because if they're like, hey, why are you varsity? We were able to get this done. You have Kebo that's gonna be pressured out. They get seen by the dimensional drift. Shift is covered by the cyber cage, but it actually helps them out. They're able to get one. A big trade. Glory will eventually fall. So because of 1v2, and maybe UTD varsity was able to catch themselves a break.
And just a little breathing room, right? I mean, we've seen them go up 5. It looked like they were basically unstoppable, and you come the other way, and you see this right now. Oh my God, nobody sees him though, Monkey Man. Is he gonna check the left? Oh,
knifed. Oh, okay. Okay, operator. At such close distance.
It wasn't a no. I'm gonna bet. I know we didn't have like we didn't have the actual camera on it, but that was not a no scope. That was just, oh, he's gonna walk right into my scope. Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, let's go ahead and hit that real quick. Let me left click.
I've missed it that distance before. Free scope.
Oh, I have
Operators
too. A million times, dude. It is what it is at that point.
It's like you're trying to play Gears of War and you put the big piece of duct tape on your TV screen and you pray the shotgun's shooting off the hip right there. It doesn't work. Look, some of you guys know. You'll know when it comes back later this year. Trust me. We go to the last round here of the first half. UTD varsity stems the bleeding. They're going to throw out that Sidewinder blind. Looks like they want to be able to take over mid. Haven't had an easy campaign getting to B. Viz will get rid of at least nobody. And try and at least poke and prod, get some X-ray damage. But that plan's still happening.
Man, I mean, it's just a really good flood here onto the B site. The problem is, and HailMonkeyMan, we've talked so extensively about this in the matches we've casted. You have to have garage control if you're going to have a successful B plant. Right now, they do not. And if they're getting pressured from A and you have to focus there, it's the perfect opportunity to get that backstab. But now they may have that garage control, and Shift is going to just shut it down entirely. Said, oh, what A-Link pressure are you talking about? It's gone. I headshot both of them.
As long as you land your shot right there, it's just the same as having an op or otherwise. So easy, quick kills, even off of the peak. You don't peek together, and you just kind of line up one at a time. Didn't even have to move the cursor. So for all of the drama of going 5 and then 5, well, apparently 5 is the max out of the streak, as the varsity will go over into the defense. And I mean, the only key switch up that really you see between both these is the other duelists. So you got your ISO with your Yoru. You've got your Jet with your Reyna, feeling very 2021 style. Dallas feels like they have a chance to really start promoting from the front. Remember, this is a best of 3, so they want to find this first map if they can. They beat them on it last time. See if they can do it again.
We will certainly see here a little bit more. I want to say a little bit more subdued here. You remember off the pistol round for the varsity team, they were just rushing in like their lives depended on it.
Yeah.
We're going to see a little bit more. I like this jump spot coming out from Shift. However, I don't know if he knows that there's 2 there. Oh my. Okay, right clicks are there. And oh, we're using the buddy system. Kid is able to find one as well. Do you have your exit buddy? We might be able to go ahead, get this plant down, but it's going to be dangerous. You're going to have to plant for the backside to C. And are you going to have all that control is the real question.
No, they're going to get at least pushed in from a couple separate angles, and they know that there was immediate pressure when they had him over into spawn. My goodness, the paranoia and the shock dart at the same time. Horror movie and a thunderstorm. Maper's going to throw out at least a recon dart, see if that gets a scan or 2. Kendrick will go down. UTD, it's down to a 2 versus 3, 1 versus 2. At the very end of it all, they pick up a ghost, and they're going to get double swung, and that's just as easy and clean as you get, as everyone stays up. At least over onto C and gets that defused 4th. Another successful pistol. So the varsity, yeah, take that selfie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Put it on the gram.
Love that. Yeah, put it on the gram. Throw it on the TikTok. You know, maybe shoot a little short. What are you cooking up in the kitchen for? You know, Lotus that we're gonna see next. That's the real question. But 8-5. So like HailMonkeyMan, crazy prediction here, right? UTD obviously wins the anti-eco. I mean, because it's Valorant, right? And then they also win their bonus. And then 5 rounds go the other way, and we end up 10-10.
Wow.
Crazy prediction, right?
Subscribe.
Yep.
I'm here for it.
I'm here for it.
Yep.
Like, let's create storylines out of thin air.
What is... Hold on. Timeout. What is that tripwire? That was very high up.
It's anti-jet. It's anti-jet.
Ah, that makes a lot of sense if you're trying to dash in.
Yep.
Be able to get
Updraft
that.
dash.
Okay.
Yep.
I had to think that was the only reason. Oh my goodness. Okay. Leaping across, Shift recognizing that they got to get in and get out and get on with reloading that 2-shot gun. Maper's going to be chilling. They're trying to find contact, but they didn't want any CQC hands. They were like, oh, they are dangerous with some pistols.
I mean, I've seen, obviously, we saw a classic takedown on the previous bonus round here for the Eclipse squad. They were able to at least find one with a classic, 2 headshots from long range. Glory here, just kind of chilling. Oh, this is not going to spot him. This might be a great opportunity. Are you going to be able to push down? Are you going to do it is the question. There's 2 towards the long. There's free reign here, but do they know that there's a 3rd here? Maper, oh my god, the timing is ridiculous here, but Shift is going to be able to find the shot? Now knowing that the spike is down, this is easy money. Roman is just going to chill here. Oh, yeah, bye. Your head is getting clicked. Your gun barrel was spotted. peace out. UTDE, Eclipse, I understand that this is an anti-eco, but this is not ideal. Shift basically dealing with an operator there, having, of course, that beautiful little 2-shot gun, and with the outlaw in hand, you're going to be able to do some work, and some work was accomplished here. 5-9 here in favor of the varsity squad.
And this will be our fattest bonus so far. Even when the previous one was, you know, one body dropped last time. This time, you got flawless. So you have a lot of extra weaponry that'll be just be chilling. And then opposite of that, I'm seeing Guardians. I'm seeing a Bulldog. I'm seeing some weakness. UTD looks like the Eclipse gang kind of bought up into more of their eco, and especially with sheriffs, it puts you into a bad run of it. Still, those things can do the damage. Kenrick, though, with the Bulldog, goes barking out in mid. King and Kevbo going down. That's not cool for their gang. They're gonna at least get some information that they try to push out. They'll keep them at bay with some extra information from the owl drone.
Yeah, I mean, 2 guns dropped immediately by a Bulldog. You can say, of course, the man's got the dog in him. His Glory's going to find another one here. So at least we're kind of flipping back the other way. That's always good to see, but I don't know if the B hit is really the move to take when you have quite literally no map control so far, but it's looking like where the pressure is going to be right now. We do have just the quiet little Cypher alert, going to go ahead and take out a tripwire as well, but look how deep the opposite Cypher is, all the way A main right now. So if you decide to push through, that's great. They have the flank. Gamble? Oh my, okay, I'm talking about pressure that they might have. That's one way to create map pressure. It's to just remove them from play by clicking their head.
Relieve some pressure and blood from the body. That's one way to be able to do it. So now can they handle the war on many fronts? A 3v3. Gonna try and traverse this from all the way back side. It's a cycle of ciphers. They're at either end in opposite points. They have to re-enter from an attacking position. Gloria's able to take the first, but they know that someone is outside of main. They're gonna reconvene from the back end. Then they hear the initial ping. Shock dart will be going out, so that's a quick 80 ping. They will not be able to protect them, and they're able to get the job done. Nobody will find those couple of kills. And it turns out that long spin over the defender side spawn really paid off.
Yeah, only 4 in a row this time. Crazy. It definitely paid off there, but also a lot of damage done, right? We already saw light shield being purchased on the side of UTD Eclipse. Well, now you have to reckon with another buy, try to scrap together whatever you possibly can, and obviously like an Omen can't sit there because you have to buy your smoke, right? You can't be on 3,300 and actually be successful in a round only having 1 smoke. So I'm thinking nobody's going to buy them, and it's basically going to be equal eco both ways, even though that round is won obviously by the purchasing team. It's not going to matter at the end of the day. They have to get another one and start stringing together just a little bit to bring that advantage, to bring them back.
Playing the mind game, they throw the cyber cage early to get the initial look, to think that they're going over to sewer, and that's exactly why you have at least ISO down there. Shift will catch Kevbo off angle as they were deep into cubby just outside of B. This has been something that we've seen from both sides. They do push out of the initial site space, but still, you see these trades from across map. Eclipse looking for where in the world they're going to have to take this spike to. It's separated from them, and Shift is giving a ton of information that everybody's just kind of chilling. They actually have to say, excuse me, as they move right by the man that was, I think he was looking at it from that owl drone.
And Viz has actually managed to pull him here as well. Oh my, that's a disgusting shot right there from Viz. Now a 2v4. Are we going to go ahead and push in, or are we going to wait for the person who is behind us? But wait. Person behind us is gone. They've TP'd to A main, and now you're running into a 3-stack already prepped for you on the site.
Good news is they won't have to deal with the tripwires. They just have to deal with the double stack. They're on the big boxes in the corner. It's King versus literally everyone else. Viz has been hot to whip a pixel through someone else's noggin. They don't know exactly where they are. They'll hear that one will go out, but it's just a spray. Oh yeah, right click. Yep, there it is. Yep. All right.
Yep, we found them. We take those. We take those. I gotta say, it's been nice hearing Viz in hit shots in the same lobby. I'm not trying to be biased here, but some
I was wondering how long it would take you to say that.
Some different than what I'm used to. I'm not gonna lie to you. Sometimes I'm on one, and sometimes I can't hit the broadside of a barn. But Viz has done a great job, especially in their ult, of just kind of securing the value that it brings. Right, being able to bring those people off of site. Not only that, also win those fights when you do have the shield installed. So great job there. We're gonna see what UTDE can do here. The Eclipse squad, we've seen a lot of good looks. At the same time, this is a lot of the same. We're defaulting Bomb is outside of B. Are we going to actually put some pressure anywhere? Or are we just going to let them take basically free space? This isn't Monopoly. You can't just have free parking available every single time.
Says you. I want free parking. Come on. Roman off his corner. They will get pressed. Trying to be able to get at least another big spam. That's going to be at least a trade, a weapon upgrade as well. Stinger will take care of the job. Everyone's here on C. Save one. That's waiting for at least some of that rotation to go out towards window. They're going to try and get out of that sloping, ramping stack of boxes. Again, it's 1 for 1 each. That will be some vulnerability. They're going to be suppressed away from their abilities as well. So they have that 4-second timer. And his is always on one. And it's 2 for 2 as we go down to final mans and final pairings.
The real question is how much are you going to be able to do with that? Okay, we do have the initial Hunter's Fury being popped. Did they miss the spike? Oh no, it's planted back sight.
Weird. Yeah. Okay.
I love how my man jumped into that like, yeah, I deserve that. I missed the spike entirely. It wasn't planted default. And that's just a communication error, MonkeyMan. Nothing more, nothing less, right? You kind of throw off the Hunter's Fury. You think you're going to get a ping, but somebody actually tucked because they didn't know if they had. That's kind of what happens when you don't have sight planted fully, right? You're like, oh, I'm going to plant safe in the corner. But if you don't communicate that early, like the Sova can't really look at their map to recognize that post plant, right? Like, and be like, oh yeah, I need to aim at this specific spot because they planted behind box because we didn't know if we had sight. It's unfortunate, but it happens. A Shift is going to be able to find one here as well.
I feel like a Yoru with an operator is a step weirder than a Reyna with an operator. Just like a half step at least, baby steps.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I disagree. Yoru can still get out for free.
Well, no, but the timer on the
it's garbage. It's garbage. I understand
it's absolute
that, but
crap.
Yeah, but
I feel like it takes longer than the dismiss, right?
It does.
So like,
but the difference is like on Pearl especially, we've seen a ton of Yoru operator, right? Where like if you're gonna go ahead and run that there, it makes sense to go ahead and kind of toss it over here. May not be as ideal on Haven when you're playing a little closer angles. But it still kind of makes sense, right? Whereas Reyna, you have to hit the shot. Yoru, you might be able to dodge behind some cover and still TP out, right?
It sounds like doubters that can't hit their shots. I don't know.
Possibly right.
Just
possibly
better
right.
if you can win.
Yeah. Just be better. Just hit shots, bro. Easy. That's why we're pros, MonkeyMan. That's why we, at both over 30 years old, play this game competitively. Absolutely.
Yeah, like against other 30-year-olds that are also struggling with how to do everything.
Facts.
But UTD, they only got 2 more before they're 1 up, and gonna be trying to do more into this series. You will go fishing. And they will try to go into the infinite domain, and they didn't have that shield. Well, he's actually gambled. They were able to find a couple. Nobody. Holding down lock and stock in a couple of smoking barrels. Gamble is able to get rid of Shift. And this is looking very promising for Eclipse.
It is, but Kendrick has something to say about it. Oh, and so does Roma. Oh, my. What a shot right there. The King trying to stay here. As a solo just gets flooded out, and yeah, there's no chance there. Triple double swings, right? Like, I mean, you're seeing it, or double triple swings. Trip dubs, whatever. But I mean, just wild right there, and great coordination, right? And knowing that the players are isolated. Hey, we're gonna play this together. We're gonna swing together. We're gonna win together. That simple.
It's both Gorilla and Penguin as they will drive those happy feet. And here's the unfortunate part: is that remember we saw the 5-0, and then we saw a comeback. It was all 5-5s. Well. It's been a while since general success has been found here for Eclipse. They do have the Empress. I expect that to immediately get popped. That Blaze Storm will be much the same, so you got to find big value. There's going to be a lot of investment. A lot of information is available here to Eclipse. The Reliance won't have to be there. Shift can ruin the party with one good pop. I don't think that they're going to be challenged out, at least into this round, because they're on A. Looks like they're just trying to run it down C, and that Odin already finds Pater.
Oh, but the paranoia is actually going to hit Gamble as well, so they can't take a ton of space. It doesn't matter. Roman going to be able to find one here as well with the Odin, though. There's a swing. Do you have the shots? The answer is no. The King going to be able to take one down. Hey, 3v2. Make that 2v2 as Shift is able to find another one relatively quickly. We do have the Omen ult. Are we going to bail?
Oh, no.
Who are you bailing into is the question. And it's going to be Maper immediately finding one there. The Neural Theft going to be popped. The plant going to be there for the back of C site. And now it's going to be either a flank or garage. And hey, if you have one agent left right now to try to figure out where somebody is, that camera is going to be so useful. But can nobody find the frag? The answer is no. UTD going to be able to take map number 1 here, MonkeyMan. They need to kind of start out hot and just kind of push it through afterwards, to be quite honest with you. Now, seeing Viz on ISO initially and then seeing him over here and trading over to the Viz, a little interesting. But I also kind of see ISO can kind of be a site anchor, especially on defense. It kind of clears, right? As we get just some poking and prodding here towards the B site. But this is going to be a heavy default coming out of the varsity squad to start off this Lotus map.
Not at all surprised we're also getting Renji kind of going over to the controller. If this is their first map, I don't know what their main kind of role is. Playing at least a little safe to get them into the groove and into basically that competition level. Roman is going to see everyone, and that is the safety of a good Teo, especially when they have their stealth drone. You can kind of give yourself a mark to move in, but they will be moving over towards C. So the Arc Rows will get a blind, some information. Yeah, they are in fact there. But I do like these deep positions. You have Viz that is all the way behind enemy lines as they poke and prod, and they find a kill.
Viz just can't miss at this point, and that's the first time that sentence has ever been said, at least like as far as within my earshot. But nobody's still going to try to go ahead and try to retake this site. Obviously 4v5 not ideal, especially with nobody still being so low as they are right now. Good right click, gonna find some damage here though. Gonna find some more. Actually, the Flood is doing a great job right now. It's now a 3v1. Roman has to be taken out. We still do have, of course, the util to delay the plant. There's one found. Are you gonna find the second? Yes, you are. You're gonna be able to find the third. Can you get the headshot? Oh, Roman, are you kidding me? What a clutch.
They ended up separated via the mound and the blind. I don't know how in the world that actually caught them, but I think they might have moved out into their own flashpoint too soon. So they get separated and they're unable to get that one done. Let's check it out again. Viz was the first one, and you know what? Viz don't miss. Put it on a t-shirt. You should sell it for your own merch. And every one of the Flood, it felt like it was working out, but Roman turned into 3 separate fights and they won them all.
That's wild to me that the coordination isn't there to go ahead and double swing that off of mound though. Like that's just a little spots that may separate a varsity team from what we're seeing right now out of the Eclipse team, right? Because I feel like that's something, if you have 2 pushing out towards that mound, you know Teo is there. You have to take care of that. That's one of the things. And if you don't, well then guess what we're doing? We're watching people fall like flies. But Glory gonna do a good job here getting one, but Kendrick gonna answer right on back. That Bulldog has been disgusting for Kendrick.
Yeah, they did it over in mid on Haven. Now they're doing it straight up into tree as we work our way with A, and that door just is still spinning. It's like me when I was a little kid playing with the spinning entry way over into Macy's and during Christmas. You know, that really painted the 90s. Actually, throwback to all my Richie Rich fans.
Yes, sir.
UTD though, they're chilling. They're actually waiting for further contact, and they're trying to make Eclipse think that maybe they left. Well, until that happened.
I mean, Roman's still here. Actually, a little low as well. Going to go ahead and stun the other side. Swing this. Going to be taken out by Roman, who's just been deadly as far as this goes. We're going to see the Teo satchels go ahead and come out as well. We get the little pops running through. It's going to be Maper finding Renji. Unfortunately, bro, that's not the way you want to start out, being subbed in, but not like really much you can do there. You have a Classic versus a Spectre. You're going to get run and gunned. We're going to see what happens, and nobody's still, unfortunately, not able to land any shots. It's going to be 2-0. Great anti-eco once again, and I think that's one of the things that kind of separates as well why we see these streaks. We continue to see the varsity team just dismantle and destroy anti-ecos. Like, they're doing so good on those rounds, only losing one person twice and losing nobody the second time. So, I mean, they're doing a great job of being able to hold on to the weaponry that they're buying in the first place.
Yeah, it's one of those where you know that you could either keep that for the now or for the later. It's such a macro kind of mental moment of knowing that you don't want to have to consistently resell. It always puts you onto the back foot when you have to reset, and you don't get all your creds back for free. So UTD, the varsity, they definitely have posted up that they're pretty measured about how they go into these third rounds, especially with pretty much extra guns for the long term. Now, nobody is on an island off of this turn. They will have that Arc Rose for a blind. Then they have Renji and Composite Cohort. Now, in opposite of that, you do have this spread between every lane here for Lotus. So no one immediately pressing in to see, even though the spike is presented here.
Good blind going to come out though. Shift is going to be blinded up. Going to go ahead and take out that arc rose as well. Has a judge in hand, so you can blast trap. The question is, are you going to be able to hit the shot on the crossfire here? It's going to be up to Renji, who is, again, the sub coming in fresh, and it's going to be a great blind right there. Nobody still actually has a judge of their own, so judge v judge warfare. And this is, oh my, are you going to make it out alive? Nobody was able to land the shots, and now Renji's just going to be able to do work here on the entrance?
Wow. Okay. Nobody's literally just traversing C from down on turn all the way back site and then towards waterfall. It is just a challenge as to whether or not you can even kind of hit their body. Viz eventually will back off. And I'm not surprised to see Viz, I mean, you had mentioned it before, shift over to the Vise. Viz and Vise, first off. It's alliteration.
V squared.
Second, yeah, V squared. V2. Not quite your V6. But it's also a very, like, it's such a controlling force for whenever they get sights. It feels like it's such a tough sort of agent to unwedge. And everyone looks like they're going to be going top site. Maper chilling. Arc Rose gets some information, but where are they?
Well, you know where a couple are. You're going to be able to get the utility out of the rest is the question. Here's Renji going to take a fight versus Spectre. That's just an early shot right there. Spots the elbow, lands the headshot. Oh my Viz. Okay. Put down after finding one. That was a nasty flick on a jumping enemy. But when you have three people looking at you, it's a little hard to stay alive. It is going to be UTD Eclipse. Honestly, doing a good job. This is, I think, the least amount of guns they've lost on, you know, that bonus round for UTD. They only lost 2 guns. You're going to be able to bring a lot more utility into this round.
And it's great to see Renji get their first 3 kills. All 3 of them into that round of these 3 rounds. So, fantastic. You know that you were asked to basically sub in for this game, one reason or another, and now you're up to fighting form, which is a difficult thing to kind of do in the moment. I like that you see some of that support, and I like that they now have at least an ode of confidence. Moving into round number 4, it's not the cleanest for either side in terms of the buy. Shift knows that they are kind of the one that has to promote from the front. That bomb left behind, they get that early peek. Minimap will give it away, and they're like, you know what, that's a down in distance a bit too far, but they're kind of planning to push in with that. They have the flashpoint, and they've got that guided salvo. Might be able to just kind of take over from this position, especially with them leading with those blast shells.
Yeah, Paint Shell's going to do some work. Okay, Glory just decides, hey, I'm going to spam through a smoke and watch this. Oh, okay, ×2. Renji's going to be able to find one through a smoke as well. We just know exactly where they are. Somebody check their PC. This doesn't happen normally, and nobody going to be able to find a third. And this 4th round buy from UTD is going to hurt just a little bit here. You mean you might be able to get some thorns, you might be able to get some damage. You're not going to get much else. The swing there. Maybe get a plant down. Maybe you're able to make it through. They don't know. Oh, King. That's disgusting. Oh, and we're going to get the trimmer. Stunned up. Blinded up. Oh, Viz, I'm so sorry. This is peak Valorant right here. You're just getting bullied. But nobody swung off of all that utility.
I don't think they knew that Viz was there. They just kind of threw it out into that corner. And so even with Viz going full Helen Killer for a moment, Glory comes in and they will teach him how to read. And it's going to be the defense that comes out 4-1. That is a very successful round considering the first couple got dropped. This will put UTD into one of the worst eco bins they've been in a while. Still have at least a couple weapons that'll be coming through. Armageddons. I want to talk on the macro with you about Armageddons because I feel like they're just kind of this fragile threat, so slow moving. I don't really see people die to them. It's mostly just like, hey, move out of this hallway, please. That is online now.
It is vital, but also if you want to call a bluff and call just a quick rush, well, guess what? We have salvos on top of you, and we have everything else. There's paint shells. Look at all the chip damage done off the rip here, and now if you really want to remove them, you can just go ahead and hit the nuke, and there it is. So we're going to force you forward. How are you going to be able to respond? The answer is you're not, because Gamble and Glory are going to shut down too, but we have answers immediately from Roma and Kendrick once again. And these two have just been goated with the sauce. Every single time they need an important frag, it's somehow found by one of these two.
And you also have the Armageddon that's now online for this attack. Wait. Okay, I was wondering. I was looking between 2 separate people. I thought this was Roman. It was actually Maper. They will get that plant off. It's a 3v2. DDE. They're going to swing together, but great crosshair placement. Kenrick will receive at least a special delivery because a 1v2. Glory is separated on, it's a tale of 2 separate lengths from high and from low. Glory nearly backing up that jacket straight into Maper. They are unawares. They will be caught. So Maper will be able to grab glory, and the varsity gang will keep this lead.
A great job on an eco round as well. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised with how much they were able to get, and especially with the ult being used, the 2 frags being found instantly. They were able to pull that back and kind of rein it in, right? And that's why you're seeing that varsity squad, just the composure to be down 2 men on an eco round and be like, you know what? Let's just pull it together. Let's go ahead. Let's use some utility together. Let's find ourselves on site and play post plant and see what happens. And it works out in their favor once again. I love seeing teams that are that coordinated, that can actually pull back, just take a small breath, and then be able to explode back onto the site.
Exactly why this team in particular is their varsity form. Really posting up here for University of Texas and Dallas. Use those immediate guided salvos to try and clear out everything. The shear will only be assisted over as Kenrick will TP in, but they really haven't had anyone that's played a cheeky corner into those into the boxes upon entry, so they don't have to worry too often. You'd be basically on a platter for anyone that wants to take you, but they know so much of this content is going to be going into waterfall. They immediately clear out nobody, and they basically can walk away from C. But look at this triple flank that's coming down from C long.
Look at what?
Oh, it was.
Yep. Vince said, I see your flank and I raise you 3 headshots. God. I mean, does this man miss heads? Like, I've either seen this man completely whiff every single shot or click ahead in 1 try every single time we've seen him on screen tonight.
Yeah, just kind of automatic. You know what? I feel like you're actually just playing right now. You know what? You are Viz, right? I hear the clicks in the background. Yeah.
Technically, I am. And I would argue if this gentleman is in fact in college, obviously, I would probably had the gamer tag just about as long as they've been alive. But
that's
something. That's something.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of pain and a little bit of pleasure, and we're seeing. Oh my! Love that.
Well, you got nothing else better to do. You can't move through the thorns. Might as well play with the Tacta Bear. So they throw out the showstopper as they're, about to land with their moon boots deep into some tough metal. Kenrick has their paranoia out. May tag shift in this angle, depending on how that works. They will tell them to back away, and King actually grabs them with an aftershock.
Showstopper right on back, but actually doesn't find any value. There's one. Gamble somehow gonna. I just don't understand that. Coming back. Oh, Roman gets one with the salvos, and there is Viz once again getting another headshot. Pretty sure it's 100% headshot accuracy at this point. Just continuing to do work. UTD. I mean, throwing everything in the kitchen sink at it and doing a great job on offense. However, MonkeyMan, like kind of been going back and forth about macro, right? I kind of want to talk to you about this now. Is the fact that like if you find 4 on Lotus defense, you're not really panicking, right?
Find 4
rounds on defense. You find 4 rounds on defense. It's like you're not hitting the panic button at all.
Yeah, no. Because this one in particular has the greatest swing of scoreboard that I've ever seen, especially between pro, collegiate, and just amateur play. Everyone knows about the DRX and Billy Gaming 10-2. I keep bringing it up because it's real. Gamble. It's an actual thing. Wallbang headshot. You have the raised differential. So if you are Eclipse, you're not at all sweating. You are still trying to be able to find some success. Gamble caught in corner, and they do the one thing that I've been asking about for the previous round. Everyone's just finding doppelgangers right now.
I guess it's just agent on agent violence at this point. Nothing more, nothing less. We're going to go ahead. We're going to get that ultimate popped out as well. And the Reckoning is not going to find anybody. So you did clear out some space, but did you really do much else is the question. The answer is no. Are we still going to flood through the smoke? It's looking like the varsity squad is just deciding for it. Oh my.
No.
Just, yeah, get wasted. Go ahead and spam that smoke. Throw another paint shell. Oh, by the way, that's right on your feet. Yeah, that's going to pop out, and that's going to be done and dusted. It's going to be the Eclipse squad finding their 3rd. We're seeing them kind of bring it back and claw it back. We see that eco just dwindling slightly for the varsity team. This is kind of what I talked about. You get 5 here on defense. I think you're feeling very confident about your chances to win the map.
Yeah, I feel like this is also a couple teams that we had mentioned that obviously as being the same program, they probably scrim together. They definitely all got recruited and play into this because there's a lot of trust that they can bring value to UTD. So to that measure, what one team might do for this first half might be done unto them because we are playing a mirror comp. So I'm expecting similar execution. You do have the Steel Garden ready to go to try and get the retake for both of these, maybe upon entry as well. Shift has been basically tested about their entryway, save the previous round whenever they were better to buy their opposing raise. They throw that boom bot, everyone stays alive, and it's gonna get pretty frisky here on this retake.
5v5 retake, double Visolts as well, so we might be seeing people. Oh my, okay, Gamble, that's one way to do it, and now your guns are disabled, so going to be coming into this. Finds one with the paint shells. What is this, chaos?
Oh, showstopper. You know, that's one way to get around having a primary. Whip the stick, bang in the corner. That's going to be at least another drive. Because they can't do nothing with it. They're going to get the defuse off. One man still exists behind, and they use that with the salvo, and they will clear the board.
Not only clear the board, but clear the economy. We're going to see some light shields coming out. Kendrick's not going to be able to really buy much and doesn't have a teammate to buy them either. This is going to be a sheriff. And I mean, right now, at this point, the Eclipse team is just bankrolling. And you're finding 4 already on defense. You have the economy advantage. You're feeling extremely good about this. And the coordination that we've seen from them so far on defense. We've seen some misses, but we've seen some huge hits, MonkeyMan.
And we have, and I think this is looking eerily similar to the kind of buy-in, the kind of situation we saw in round number 11 when we were on Haven. Very similar eco, and even though the varsity team is at this massive disadvantage, they have decided to buy up into a 4 big rifle, so they're not letting the power differential get away from them too much. You have this upward angle. They expect when they enter into C for that to be a thing. Glory finds at least a first pick, but you have that counter of their fellow Tejo. Roman and Glory on contact with each other, and Shift is keeping them honest, but that spike is all the way towards A. Now they have to get away from that because that's actually where nobody is posted up with their thorns, and that's why they're moving from secret, and Viz is hoping to sandwich through this, and again, trade for trade because we go 3-3, and they will plant those thorns just in the nick of time.
They will get the thorns down. You're going to be able to get the plant down through the paint shells. The answer is no so far. Also, the salvos were popped for that as well, so you don't have to worry about that. But nobody still. Oh my! There's your back, and there you are gone. Go ahead, hold it down. You know somebody's going to be swinging here. But Viz has the timing of a lifetime. If they're able to find it, there's one. Can you find 2? The answer is yes. Nobody's going to be able to find another. It's already halved as well. It's going to be up to Shift right now. Throwing some satchels, trying to get them off. Nobody's still holding the angle. Going to be able to pull it off. We're going to be tied up at 5-5.
All tied up again. This time it wasn't 5 rounds up and 5 rounds down streaking, but still we come back to the same outcome. Now here's the situation, is that we have not seen a lead for Eclipse. Not yet. Not between the previous game and going into this one. Last time we got to this measurement, it was the varsity side of UTD that got the lead. It's going to be a interesting buy, to say the least. A judge in the hands of both Maper and Shift. Shift has consistently been conditioning that C position, but it looks like we are just full-on bumbling into mid to try and make this one much faster. No ultimates to rely on, so they're just going to try and take this one with some immediate pace, and they find first purchase.
That is one way to do it for sure. Glory is going to be here, though, and I'm wondering if somebody's going to go ahead and decide to push that angle, if they're going to try to take the space or not, is nobody. Just going to chill out in heaven right now. Glory, are you going to be able to find the kill? The answer is no, and now Viz has collapsed that. This is going to be an easy round for UTD. We were talking about the buy not looking ideal. Well, guess what? 5v1 says otherwise. This is a good shot from Renji. Are you going to be able to find a second? The answer is no. Viz is going to take you out. First time I've seen his name on the leaderboard without a headshot, but it doesn't matter. UTD not going to give the Eclipse team a lead just yet.
Look, 87% body shot gang, rise up. That's all I'm saying. All right, I think I'm in like the 2 percentile, and that's on the worst end for headshots. But
yeah, you just op and Odin, so you know what, your headshot percentage is gonna be bad, right? Like whatever.
That's true.
Hashtag
Dual wielding. One under each armpit, just carrying them in. That's but for all the arguments and for all the flair, you have what? An Armageddon online, some from the shadows from Renji, who's really fit into this composition very well, replacing Kevbo just a little bit ago. But Eclipse would love to go 6-6, which really would give us no clue how is to the consistency as to the other side, the other half of this mirror fight between both of these this forced teams. So Showstopper comes in, they at least get one, but no, they don't have the Showstopper. Gamble does have to be traded by Maper.
And the trade is found. Maper's going to be able, and this is just going to be an entire site take at this point. We're going to get the From the Shadows being burned as well. Where is it? Is it on top? I'm curious as to where this actually is right now. No, it's just to regroup with the team. We're gonna get the Armageddon, but nobody's actually there. This is gonna be just a complete T-side and just on-site hold. There's one, there's two. Kendrick, you're disgusting, brother.
It's not Viz, it's Kendrick. They just continue to get it done. They don't want to die to their teammates. Oh, they're gonna use the Steel Garden as well. All right, so if you missed the first half of this one, I hope you saw the first half of the previous one. And if you missed the first half of map 1 on Haven, well, guess what? It's the same as this one now. A+. That's everyone's got 4.0 GPAs across this team, I will assume. So we go into the attacking half. But you had mentioned before that if you get 5, you feel like you're pretty alive. They just got to execute this time, right?
That's the big thing, is it does the communication gap that we've kind of seen on executes and just like small little nitpicky details, right? But that's the thing that separates the team from being varsity versus being, you know, the second in command, the Eclipse squad here. They may have the firepower, but if you're not playing off the utility as well, if you're not communicating as well, it is going to be kind of a struggle bus ahead going against a team that has coordinated their util as well as we've seen the UTD varsity squad do their shift. And kind of just an example right there, not able to find nobody. Are you kidding me? Gets 2.5 just lurking C, and now it's just going to be a bum rush towards A. Are you going to be able to find the Vice here behind the box? It's a good flash, but you're going to be taken out by Glory immediately. This should be a plant. Theoretically, this should be a win here for UTDE. You're going to find one. You're not going to find much more than that. 3v1 coming into the post plant.
So much massive value from nobody being able to get those two and then some extra damage onto that C, because now Maper is caught in a tough position to say the least. 1v3 spin. Love the laser sights. Thank you so much to Prod. Knowing that they've at least poked them or looked at them from around this tree position. Call out is there. Maper is in a corner. They just don't want to be caught from off angle. They want to take these fights honestly, and Gamble will tell them honestly to sit down for now. That's gonna be the first, I think, pistol that we've seen at all out of Eclipse. That's huge for motivation.
That is correct. That's a good call as well. It's going to be the first time we're going to see them on an anti-eco as well. And we've seen UTD kind of bring scuff buys just back from the brink of existence, right? We saw them win a scuffed by 3v5 earlier. Like, this isn't something that's out of the realm of possibility for the varsity squad. However, Eclipse have a lot of weaponry that they're choosing not to buy. We're seeing a lot of ghosts here, and okay, they're going to start purchasing up a little bit. We're probably going to see a hard default here with those two ghosts to allow, hey, if you get a pick, guess what? You're only getting a pistol. We're going to see what happens after that to allow them a little bit more firepower coming in to this third round. And it doesn't matter. Gamble just lost that to a classic. That is not ideal.
You got to win that fight. I mean, easily.
It's what you got to have.
Yeah, especially when you have the greater auto weapon. Unfortunate. 2 paranoias being used immediately, by the way. One to try and clear over to this rubble, and another by Maper's teammate to at least keep them honest from that A position. So you go from deep out in B. Kenrick has been so sortedly sweet for their snapshots, especially for that classic. They use a guided salvo to try and gain some space. They do not trust that anyone has not moved upwards. They're going to eventually get some information that no one's there, but utility is starting to become kind of an idea. They haven't upgraded any weapons. Still 4v5. Eclipse playing from a deficit.
They are playing from a deficit. They haven't been able to recover that Vandal either. I think that's the biggest thing, is they haven't been able to grab that in mid. They haven't trusted it just yet. This is going to be a big stun right here. Glory, you're going to be able to get anything. The timing just a pixel off, unfortunately. And now you're just given that ability to reshuffle the defense and allow them to kind of take some more space. His shift just going to push through this. Oh my, is the classic going to be able to get enough damage? The answer is no, sadly. The timing not there. 17 seconds though. You got to get the plant down at some point.
Yeah, we talk about timing. There's just not a lot of clock left. Maper finds a kill. They don't have a surety that they can be able to get this done, so they are going for maybe the TDM. They have just enough time, but no! Maper continues to play cat and mouse, and there is free weapons on the ground for the last couple that are surviving, so even when they won the pistol, Visionary, we see the one thing that definitely doesn't want to go against them. That's trying to be able to win off of the buy. So now you're in an eco break for Eclipse, and the varsity squad is feeling pretty darn confident.
Dude, I don't want to be that guy, but I just literally spoke that into existence.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I really did. Like, I'd love to see Eclipse push this to a map 3, but I was like, you know, they've been super coordinated on scuffed buys before. We've seen them be able to do it. And yeah, you got a Guardian, you got some stuff to work with here, but the question is, how effective is it going to be versus the full buy versus UTD? Renji here just kind of jiggle peeking, not going to get taken out just yet. We're going to get the boombot coming through as well. Little Roomba, high-low action, not going to be found. Shot's going to be found, however. Are we going to burn that paranoia early is the question. Are we going to try to get aggressive and find those picks? Because this is a heavy default. If Renji falls here, they have visual on Spike and this round is over.
Oh, all eyes going into the old pistol as they will now have an extra weapon. Gonna TP away just as they are spotted. So that Spike will traverse. Nobody knows that there is a lot of thorns in the way between themselves and some extra water getting into their shoes. Better fight by Viz as he finds a couple. Oh my, they have been so sure-handed in their shots, but it's now gonna be up to Eclipse. They have been letting this timer run down, and I mean, that's not to their greater benefit. They will have to move.
They will definitely have to boot scoop boogie all the way down. The only reason I say that is because we're all in Texas right now, right? So we get down, turn around, go to town, and we do some boot scoop boogie. You're not going to be able to get through this, however. Glory going to go ahead and pop into tree. The king is going to be able to find one. So, hey, 2v3, got an opportunity to maybe get a plant down, play some posty, but you gotta speed it up. Right now I'm feeling Eclipse are losing in terms of the process right now. They're taking a little bit too long to go ahead and try to clear everything out. Yes, you're successful, you're getting spammed through a box. Now you gotta pop the salvos early because you're getting flooded. You could have gotten the plant down earlier, however you didn't. Now you got to deal with this.
Now everything comes down to the mechanics of the moment. Glory is gonna be right inside of this dark cover. They're going to try and come out. That is good coverage. Maper has been just a shredder, and everyone else has been paper. King can't do much of nothing. They're caught in a crossfire, and you have to plant away from yourself from that position. They did not know where they were going to move in from, and as soon as they were repelled off the three-man swing coming in from Secret Visionary, they were basically completely isolated on the other side of that hut. It was kind of the worst situation for them if they want to be able to take advantage of that round. But we go to 6-9 so fine, and Rifles online.
Rifles online for everybody. Another Guardian coming out for nobody. I'm kind of not surprised to see it. Obviously, we saw him clicking heads with the Ghost earlier. So, hey, Guardian, what's the difference, right? We're going to see, obviously, this space. And this is what I love about, like, this map just in general is the fact that you are instantly able to deny at least some form of entry. It's a lot like Fracture in that sense, right? Which is why I feel like Lotus is kind of liked, because you have ways to pivot off of it that aren't just the other site or take a rope across and hope you don't die to somebody flanking. But it's kind of why I feel like this map is so beloved, is because defenders can fight for space and be successful and kind of shut down some of the map just off the utility that they have.
I actually saw a lot of high school esports last week, and we played Fracture like twice. And there was a lot of people getting found on the ropes. Ooh, Gamble finding Roman after he was deep in the pit and didn't think that that would actually happen, but you know, it becomes 2 and 2 the other way. So 3v3 Aftershock will force them out into that connector hallway. So now they're again separated from their own Spike. Viz is trying to be able to get themselves through this fight. They get stunned on a special delivery. Glory will have to come up and in support. Renji just caught in the corner, and Shift has an operator, and they cannot land it through the bricks.
Renji just doing a good job teleporting, being like, oh, you got an operator? Oh, you picked up a gun? Well, you got to still pull it out. So I'm just going to TP in front of you and say, what's up? Click some heads, and we're going to finish up this round. The UTDE going to be able to pick one back up. So obviously after the bonus round, you're able to go ahead, buy up. Love to see it coming out from UTDE. We're seeing a little bit of just back and forth. We saw a lot of this on Haven, though, and it's really going to come down to this kind of stretch, right? Who's going to be able to extend their economy far enough to be successful as this game gets deeper?
Yeah, I don't have a consistency that I can rely on, because it feels just as scrappy as it was on Haven, and yet this one has been even more so. Kind of just barroom brawl. How do you take space? What do you do with it? UTD varsity, they definitely had a deficit for the overall just kind of general economy after losing out from that previous. Ooh, nobody getting caught trying to creep around that dark cover. There's an extra weapon right on the other side of it. Shift is going to try and hop up and grab it. They use the guided salvo to cover for them. And look at this advanced defensive line spread across this map. They have stolen so much space from Eclipse.
They really have, and Kendrick's able to find another one as well. Are you going to be expecting this? The answer is no. Glory says, my crosshair is just planted here, so it kind of just is what it is at this point. Oh, my Glory. Okay. Yeah, we're rotating back. We're going to take that space. That is phenomenal right there. Good work from Glory, just playing patient and allowing basically UTD to just walk into their own deaths.
Key thing that did get popped up earlier is that they already had the immediate teleport from the shadows came through. Viz is trying to take on everyone, but a triple swing is just a little bit too much for one man to handle unless you're able to get all those extra shots. The guided salvos wanted to stop the plant, and they did so. Gamble knows that they had someone lurking from behind, and eventually the plant will be coming through here into the pit of Roman. They're one versus the world. One very hurt Swede and an Armageddon in their back pocket. I'm pretty sure Eclipse has this one sealed up, but Roman has some crispy shots maybe to deliver sooner.
And you don't have confirmation off of that flash, so yes, you throw it, but nobody's swinging right now, especially with Queen being the way they are, so low. Gonna go ahead and take to the low side as well. Able to grab a gun here. Guided salvo is gonna be popped. Are you gonna use the Armageddon?
What?
You are! Oh no. But Gamble able to get the swing early. Take care of that and get out of dodge, and that's a wasted ult as well, so that's really big for Eclipse. 5 ults online right now. Only have to deal with, of course, that big ol' AoE breach ult. But I mean, on the other side, you can just go ahead and pop it right on back. It doesn't really matter. You got an Armageddon. You can take their guns out of their hands now that they finally have them, and looking at shift, especially with an operator, that might be something you want to pop a Visol on.
Yeah, this is possibly one of the loudest ultimate compositions, save if instead of having omens from the shadows, we had an orbital strike. Like, this is as loud screaming as you're gonna get, except for Reyna, but you have to pay for that later. So Eclipse can be just bully their way into any site they want to go to right now. They're holding down and waiting for some of that advanced defense to kind of come to them, so that everyone's staying a little bit further back. And I'm pretty sure the Varsity gang knows that this is coming to their doorstep at C. No immediate rotations, but I mean, they've got the idea right around this corner that maybe wait for the 1 minute mark before they burst onto the scene.
Maybe they do, maybe they don't. It's going to be up to Gamble to really enter on site, and I fully expect to see the showstopper here. The problem is, if you see the Vise wall, is this somewhere where you really want to try to coordinate a hit? Because you have to kind of have that delay, right? Unless you're going to just bait the wall. No shot's going to be found right there. Roman deciding to use the salvos, deciding not to use the salvos, really wants to wait for this push. It's kind of darned if you do, darned if you don't in this scenario right now. Guardian is there in hand, and there's the explosion. We're going to go ahead. We're going to push on out, and oh my gosh, the utility is just crazy right now.
They knew they had to get someone. They got massive value off the initial utility push. They know someone's running around the corner, but Gamble gets caught. A quick trade, able to get at least another. They use the Rolling Thunder to clear out even more space, trying to delay them, but that's just to get back onto site. That's going to be Maper that comes in. Kendrick is going to be off angle from this waterfall. They find one as easy as that. They have that flashpoint off in their back corner, and Kendrick was a man on a mission, but Renji stands their ground on top of boxes, and it was somewhat expensive as he had 3 ults invested, but we are back to 9-9, and we are still looking for Eclipse to get that lead. Time out by Varsity before round number 19.
So Varsity did bid out 3 ults, right? It was a little bit of a delay by Eclipse. They went ahead, they used their utility advantage to secure themselves around. That's totally fine and well. But we're going to be coming into this right now. UTD calling the timeout on basically what essentially is a save round again, right? So are they going to be forcing up? Are we going to see the Marshal coming out? Are they kind of planning for next round after Eclipse, theoretically? I mean, just on paper, right? They have the gun advantage, win this round. And are they taking this time to kind of talk about their next plans? Or are they going to take the time to swing back the other way, try to win this one?
They've done this before, though, comfortably, where we've seen weird buys. I mean, at this point, I don't believe any weapon doesn't do its job in Valorant, even though they're like tactical game, and then spreads are kind of, insane. Yeah. But this is definitely a team, and you're gonna see Kendrick with a bulldog, so I feel like that's at least 2 kills right there. Yeah. So they're like, all right, we're gonna at least go mid compositional buy. Have a light shield, maybe a regen shield. See if you have some sheriffs. They thought better. They're all right, Kendrick. No, we're gonna max out. We're gonna maximize. That may end up giving this one over. And the key thing they could actually do to make this completely the same on either side, the majority of people getting those sheriffs. You have 2 steel gardens out there. This could become a pistol round in a moment.
You're not even wrong about that. And the stun going to be used. Oh, the fault line going to catch 4. Are they even aware that this is going to be a giant push out? This is going to be deadly. If Gamble can't land shots, the blind is there. Are you going to be able to get out of dodge? The answer is no. Well, hello. There is 4 of them there. I'm sure that popped up on the minimap, and the instant rush over towards the A site. And all there is a Marshall there and some breach utility to try to slow you down.
You know, it's the same as an operator. If it lands its headshot, that's going about chesticle level. We'll see if that does in fact land. No, they're gonna regroup with their squad mates. So they come out from at least tree. They're gonna chill into these close quiet quarters. Viz will not get sighted out by the stealth drone, and it's time to turn into a pistol round. Here we go.
And we're turning it right on back, but there's no buys really out of the other team, so primary jam doesn't really matter. Viz is going to get stunned up, though. Are you going to be able to make it out alive? The answer is yes. And here's the showstopper coming out from Shift. Do you have the shot? The answer is yes. King's going to be able to find 2, make it 3, but can't find 2 more. Doesn't matter what UTD buys, they just win.
That's some extra weapons for at least a couple of them. They knew that that was the game plan. The winning factor of that round was to, at minimum, see if they can get a plant, see if they can get an initial pick, deny the immediate plant, and then get everyone collectively together, use the Steel Garden, and in so doing, they did, like you mentioned, they made them bite. There was only 1 extra Vandal that was out there from their fallen teammate from Gamble. So they kind of like panic clicked that X. It was kind of strange to see that happen, but they're like, you know what? Let's just turn this into a pistol. And the majority of pistols so far today have been won by Varsity.
And not only have they been won by Varsity, also you have to factor in that it was a full buy, right? So you're looking at Classics versus Sheriffs because it was a light buy. So it's kind of like you're honestly hurting yourself in that scenario more so than anything else. Like, might as well just not use it, save the utility. And does he have walls?
He got walls.
Yeah. Check his PC. That doesn't happen normally.
Except to us. That's why we're where we are.
Yeah, facts.
Oh my god. Shift right around the corner. And Eclipse not in a great mental spot initially there. All right. Every single time we nip at the heels of Big Brother, we get swatted down. Not having had a lead so far of any kind of rounds across these games. Stealth drone will suppress. Roman stuck in a corner. They have to swing through the aftershock or else they face imminent death. King will be able to get rid of the first, and so we go to a 4-4. Haven't quite chosen where they want to go, but it looks like we are navigating to C, but that's where all the utilities still stood up here with Viz.
Let's see if Viz can actually hold on to this properly. Gonna get blinded out. Has to reposition. Where they spotted is the question here. And they were not. And there is the blind. There's a shot right there. Renji does a great job at TPing, taking some room, but this rotation has already come through as well. This is gonna be a 3v3 bloodbath onto site, and Kendrick finds a shot right there as well. Gonna blind up their own rays, unfortunately. Gonna be able to make up for it at least once. Renji gonna find a shot with a classic. Now 10 seconds remain. Not a lot able to do. Oh my, 5 seconds left. Are you going to be able to get the plant down? Here's the blind. Are you going to be able to swing in time? The answer is no. 1v1. It's going to be Renji taking it 10-10. We're going into more Valorant, baby.
No one puts baby in a corner and comes out alive. Renji. Oh my gosh. Instead of tears, no fears, as they take on everyone, having to play delay with Maper consistently harassing them. The fault lines, the flashpoints, just blinded up, stunned up, but they're the ones that were gunning up all of that defense out of Varsity. So we go to round 21, none the wiser as to whomst is going to either have series points or map 2 point unlocked first. Still can't quite land that initial shot. Initial trades galore.
It's a good job on the trade. Are we going to put that pressure on C is really the question. As Shift is here. Not going to be pushed off their angle, though. So they're holding this Marshall. Now they're staring through a smoke. Going to fire a pot shot. And oh, Viz, buddy, if you're going to be able to push a site, you might want to have more than your knife out. This is going to be a rotation over to the C site. It's going to be wide open spaces, to quote Leanne Rhymes. And we're going to get a plant down and have a post plant in a 4v3.
And they got a Rolling Thunder online. So they're able to protect everyone that comes in through this. Renji's, well, I mean, they're basically dusted, but no, the paint shells do at least some extra chip damage. This also spills over, and the party foul has occurred. And for the first time, this entire series, through 2 maps, through so many rounds, we have Eclipse on top. Dallas, or rather, the varsity squad out of UT Dallas, they knew that one was going to be tough. They played much more close quarters. But a Visionary, this is new ground that they have to tread.
This is new ground. You have to deal with an operator on the defensive side as well. Going to be shutting down one of those sites. It's looking like it's going to be A again. Common, obviously. Fault line, paint shells. See what happens. See if you can find a pick somewhere. Actually, it's just going to be a hard push-up. This is going to be such an aggressive angle on this operator.
See, this is what I'm talking about when I was mentioning Yorus and Reynas with this. I see a lot of raises, and Shift definitely was the one that was on that Yoru playing into some op. So they are confident in their ability to immediately blast pack out of danger if they've gotta land that first shot. Kenrick, great placement. They're gonna use that Rolling Thunder, and as Gamble dies, it basically nullifies everything. Kenrick is just gonna full spam. The Armageddon's gonna come through, and they're gonna be able to escape from this. But to what cost? What measure? Varsity. They immediately ruined the B rush. Nobody. Oh, can they even get him? No. Oh, that's so bad, Viz! Oh, body shots. That's deserved. Oh.
Oh, that's just pain. Yeah, all I know is pain. You see them, they start jumping around like crazy, and hey, maybe I can get into a site. The wall's not going to be triggered, thanks, of course, to the shrouded step. Are you going to be able to get the plant down? It's looking like yes for now, but all the utility going to be dumped out. Renji has to bail out of this, and now, I mean, 2v5. Obviously, you should be able to buy next round, but right now it's looking like Renji not going to be able to. Only 550 on the docket for them. This is going to be a struggle bus right now, and Renji's going to fall after the plant goes, and there goes Kendrick once again with a solid little 4K from the Omen. I don't want to be that guy. Like, if you play your role well, I mean, keep doing it. But like Kendrick on Omen almost seems like a crime, right? Like, why isn't this man just playing? Why isn't this man playing? You know, the Raze here, or playing a chamber on defense instead of running that Vise? You know, like if they're gonna click heads that efficiently, might as well give them a headhunter and watch what they do.
Yeah, but it's kind of like, okay, let's harken back to some Rocket League. Sometimes your greatest player is the third man. That doesn't always mean that they're the front of the star, they're the highlight. They can get those. And Controller as well as Sentinel between Viz and Kendrick, considering that we've seen from what we saw in that previous map to this one, it feels like they were like, you know what, I make this shine with the way that I play. I don't have to have the util weaponry to make that happen. They can just get it done, especially when you can make some cool plays out of some good old TPs anyway. Shift will be in, let's talk about like very aggressive angles. They were all the way at the front step of A.
That was the same exact angle that they played last time as well. Yeah, just go ahead and try to beat that with the wand and see what happens. Gonna get out of dodge here. Thanks for a teammate breaking down the door at least. This is gonna be really tough sliding ahead, but another shot missed. Now some space gonna be taken here by Glory. Are you gonna be able to find the frag is the question. Shift repositioning here. Looks like a full send over towards the A site here for the Eclipse squad. You're already indoor as well. There's a good blind, and the salvos, are you gonna be able to shut him down? There's a tiny little gap, but Glory's gonna be able to find it. We got one pick over on the side of B. Some space taken, but not a ton. Viz, you got to stay alive. So calm, so cool, so collected, so dropped by King.
There is so many fights. Everyone is sandwiched between one another. They send some over into B. You don't want to be too segmented, but you have a couple that are here into the secret position. You have at least a couple that are towards that top side of Hut. Roman is segmented between them. They're actually going to get spun on by Kenrick, and they know at least one is here in the secret. Glory finds the third. Had to think if they weren't coming north side, they were coming south side. So first time we've seen Eclipse unlock map point. This is important. If they're able to get this one done before we go overtime, we are going into a game number 3. And if not, then, I mean, Varsity has a chance to bounce back, maybe finish this 1 and 2.
They do have the weaponry to do it. We lose the operator, but it's not like we found much value out of it last round anyway. Unfortunately, Shift not really able to do anything with it. So we'll see. I like what Eclipse is bringing right now. They also, at least, I mean, the alt economy is kind of busted on the same sides, right? You have like a slight macro play of being able to clear out some space to maybe get a plant down, but we really haven't seen many people dying to the Armageddon if you don't have the Fade Seas on top of it. Here's a big swing, and Kendrick says, what's up? I'm also getting out of dodge. I'm free, and they have no idea that Viz is here as well. So if they want to go ahead, decide to push this spot, it's going to be extremely dangerous.
Does the smoke, I saw them, maybe it just wasn't all the way over the mound. Does that suppression persist through the dark cover?
I believe it does.
Okay, so then that must have been just short of the extension of mound and domain. Okay, all right. I was like, why didn't they get suppressed? Well, okay, apparently it was the pixels. So they spin open the door. They want to see if anyone's on the other side, if they'd moved up too far. Still have 5 men standing here for the varsity squad. You have 50 seconds approaching. They are checking over towards A main. Dark cover is giving them some room to move. This spike still, though, is lent towards C. So you're on geographically very separated, and varsity would rather take their time than having to deal with too much more.
The TP might be just right in the line of the fault line. Fortunately, going to get out of dodge with their life. And this poking and prodding is just being hard read right now. There's one in, going to be blinded out by the arc roast. Do you have much more? Viz going to have to get out of dodge as well. Paint Shell's right on top of them. But Kendrick able to find one frag. Glory's going to be able to get the refrag immediately. King running out, not even realizing how many people are here. Guess what? Only 12 seconds left. You can't really do anything at this point. You have to be able to get the plant down, and I don't know if that's going to be possible. There's the swing, a little crouch swing. It doesn't matter. Roman is going to finish it off, and we're going to overtime here in map number 2.
All right, so we flip right back from whence we came and started. It was a very early successful campaign out of the varsity side of this UT Dallas incursion. They won 5 out of the first 7 before there was a lot of footing still gained by Eclipse. And I mean, in difference, very scattered defensively. Still though, we go 12-12. Eclipse was finding their move and their groove. And I don't exactly know where you find kind of a consistency here, but I know who you look to. It's definitely going to be Viz. It's going to be Kenrick, as this team, I mean, they've been moving right behind their sentinel and their controller. Like you mentioned, maybe it's a quote-unquote waste of agency. I feel like they're playing it very well, and they're executing just so perfect. But they're going to wait to see if this util dump happens. Oh, tech pause. That'll also be a way.
Yeah, love that. So, I mean, all right, I'm going to go there just because it's funsies. And obviously, these are 2 teams from the exact same university, right? So why are we tech pausing when all these people obviously currently attend the same uni? Oh, no, we're just resuming. All right, we're just going off the rip. All right, it wasn't that big of a deal. Maybe it was a quick restroom break, but it's going to be some pressure out of A right now. For UTD, they're just going to go ahead and run it down. It's going to be up to Gamble right now to at least get 1 or 2 and try to hold it off. Unfortunately, going to find 1 and shoot the field goal. King's going to be able to find 1 here. Flash going to come out, going to catch it, but Kendrick kills him blind. Wow, that's a way to open it up.
At Flash maybe, because he was around the hut and it was off of that corner, so maybe it was just a little bit of sunlight. I know that. I needed my glasses yesterday when I was in DC, and I didn't want to squint, so. Kendrick proving that he can see everything from beyond the cowl. It's a 3v3. Ultimates, just gunplay. Nobody gets rid of their doppelganger as Viz will hit the dirt. And this is looking a bit dirigible here for Dallas. Can Varsity hold true and be able to win this first round?
They're going to have to survive the onslaught. Here's the TP in. 1's going to be found. Kendrick has done so much work, but has to do more. You have to get 2, but also the plant has to go down. Going to be able to find 1. Nobody still. Renji just holding on to this one. Are you going to be able to get it half? The swing, the kill. It's Kendrick once again able to bring the varsity squad to 13 and put them on match point.
Taking that sweet lead that was so briefly led by Eclipse out of their hands and slapping across the cheek. They will go to Series Point, Texas CECC May Madness qualification point online and unlocked. We go to opposite halves. General success as well found by this squad out of Eclipse. Not a lot of time. They're going to try and take it, and they actually bleed this clock down to the final seconds here, Visionaries. So I wouldn't be surprised if it will be done the same here.
We'll see what they do. Nice little default coming out here, but are you going to be able to deal with Viz at all? Obviously spotted on the C side. Are you going to be able to aggress? Are you going to decide to fall back? Because Viz has been able to find frags in that kind of timing. We have nobody, just kind of chilling out here behind B. Just kind of poking and prodding. We've seen this where Eclipse has kind of run out of time. They need to just be decisive with your decision here. Like if you're going to rotate A, go ahead and throw everything in the kitchen sink at it. Be sure to try to get yourself this round, because if you leave yourself 10 seconds left, I mean, your varsity squad is going to be able to prey on that insecurity.
This is the least supported site, but Maper has been mollywopping players, especially their fellow UTD Comets. They see 1 pixel, they can't quite do much with it. They try to escape, and Gamble will steal space. So Maper hits the floor, does not find their team. This plant will come through. They're going to plant for tree, going to have several angles covered. They're going to spin open that door. And you also had nobody that's coming in from B. This could be ruinous. Viz is trying to do the same thing from behind, but it's all about timing. And they're going to find Kenrick. No, they're just going to give them some information, but they got to still go get him.
One's coming through door right now. This might be the opportunity, but there's the call out, right? That's what makes it so important, and the call out as well. But Shift already come in. Just loses that one to the King, and Viz now 1v2. You were able to clutch a 1v2 last round. Are you able to do it to close out the map with the timer ticking down? Is the question. Fault line going to hit Viz. You're gonna have a tough time ahead, brother. He gets one, not able to find two. It's gonna be nobody still. That lurk was peak, and we're gonna go to rounds 27 and 28.
Double OT right around the corner. Any good sentinel. And that's also why I don't at all kind of debate seeing Viz and what they did on Haven on the ISO moving into that sentinel position, because that lurk is so key and clutch for any great push, because you basically take a moment of patience. You can set up a great kind of anti-lurk system off of your shear. Doesn't get a supreme amount of info all the time. You know that at least someone's there if you hit them with the arc rows, but everyone had set up initially for C defense out of varsity, not thinking at all that they would have Maper kind of upended from that A position. But we go to the opposite side as Eclipse set to receive, and I mean, nobody's kid is not on C, so this is going to be much tougher for Renji to deal with.
It's going to be very difficult. One's already busted in as well, some blast packs, but nobody still has been here, has been fragging out, not able to find the spray transfer, however. So we open up, 1-for-1 trade. You're going to be able to find Renji is the question. Oh my, I don't know if that was lag or what that was, but it didn't look like they were shooting in the right direction, unfortunately for them. Now, 3v4 coming into the retake.
Campbell has to be ready to take on two separate points of contact. The fault line actually just hit someone. They have at least another moment. Shift and Kenrick finding huge value, and it's a 1 versus 4. I mean, Eclipse, if you can do it, it's not going to be with the util in hand. So again, varsity gets to match point and all that again before their younger brothers. Eclipse is going to have their own moment here, Visionary, to try and even things up. This is tough. They were ahead and they had some momentum at the end of that second half, but they've been nipping at the heels and they've just been kept at arm's reach.
It's like, yeah, I always harken back to like if you are an older brother, like if your little brother gets mad at you and you just hold the arm out so they can't punch you because their arms are too short. Kind of what it feels like right now. Like you can hit me a couple times, but eventually I'm just gonna go ahead and say no. And I mean, look at this aggression coming out though from the varsity squad. 3 over here.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my question is, like, how do you make it out of that alive at this point? It's just a rundown. Hey, we're going into A, but you're going to be propping into the 2 that probably offer the most utility, and Maper's already taken out Renji, so your smokes are gone for the round as well.
Oh no. You have to. Well, it's not just pure raw entry. It depends on what the flashes can do. They definitely have looked at B. B is going to be detrimental if they cannot hold down this side, and that's exactly why nobody's been holding off of this, at least this angle. Planting for pit. And I'm praying that nobody's still there. That it just looks so still. It's like an oil painting set to dry. They actually have an off-angle position here. Viz is going to try and enter from secret, but you have King as well as their teammates in support with Gamble away from Rubble. I don't know if they're going to expect that. Glory's able to clear Maper, and now they actually find a couple. Nobody gets 2, and that puts it down to a 3v2.
It's a great job by nobody, just kind of holding the space that they were given. And here's a great job also. Visewall going to swing together. King's going to be able to find 1. Nobody's going to find their 3rd. And guess what? It's not just double overtime. It's triple, and bring me the arsenal, by the way. We're going to go ahead and just drop that. Let everybody know on your team know that, hey, I got 3 kills that round.
Bring me the arse. Bring it as they find them in the midst of all their thorns. So we go over to what is these 2 programs literally just taking, you know, haymakers at one another. Key thing is we've not seen Eclipse get that first round. It is so tough. I almost feel, you know, maybe with alterations, overtime rules in the future, if they ever decide to it, you know, you flip-flop, I would love to have OTs as you go like double OT and forward. Switch the starting sides. Able to find at least a couple big kills. Kenrick is always good for a couple. Glory in trade. Wow, what a fast start.
That is one way to do it for certain. Just trades abound. 2v2 both ways out of 1 member of each team, and now we're just running through tree. Nobody has been on fire here in the second half, and they continue to do so right there. Good headshot. You have the utility advantage. You have the man advantage. You have to be able to win this one.
Gonna toss the old stealth drone. Eclipse in a great position, at least with one man, but you do have wombo combo between this Tejo and between this breach. Feels like Maper. Oh, they such fantastic timing. They can't quite get the angle, and Glory's good for 4. Eclipse will get to map point. The second time they'll have ever had it in triple overtime. What a way to be able to find a steal if possible here, Visionary. Varsity's got to be looking across the table. I don't know if all these players are in the same, like, you know, like utilities setup across from each other, and a timeout's being called as well. This has got to be rocking their minds. Like, all right, we got to get through these guys. Come on, we're supposed to be better.
We're supposed to be better. Not only that, but we're also supposed to like have our coordinated and our protocols like in place, right? You push out 3C, you get Glory, basically like dead to rights, right? But they're able to get out alive. And they get a 4K on the round. It's one of those things that you can't really let slide, right? Like, you have the advantage. You're not able, you take that space, you funnel everybody where you want to funnel them to, you still lose the round. I think that's why the timeout's being called.
They also may just be throwing actual hands with each other. I have no idea. If they're all in the same, like, room, and like, come on, man! One guy's just slapboxing the other guy. So, that's how, you know what? If it ends up going, like, what, octuple overtime, that's how you should settle it. Rap battle
Slapbox.
between the comments.
Rap battle, slapbox, or, you know, I mean, 4v4 on the same split screen TV, Halo 2 match, right? Like,
no screen watching. You have to put on your hoodie like real tight.
You have both teams, but you have 4 individual members on the team on one TV themselves. So like you can't screen cheat when you're all together. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. Okay, yeah, and you put them in like opposite rooms. Only 19-inch TVs, by the way.
Yeah,
so
19 to 32 inches tops. Because other than that, we can't pick it up. The front glass is too heavy, bro.
Well, Glory actually, they will see him at the last second. Not at all, I think, surprised that they will find Viz chilling here on C, and they're actually going to be waiting to put down the Razor Thorn here in a moment. And that's actually very smart. This is something that Cyphers have had to deal with for a time or two. Everyone trying to use shock darts and more to break through early utility. They will use the Thorns, but a couple go down. The Shear goes up. There will be at least 2 on site. The Arc Rose will tell them everything they know, but will create that delay and delay and delay. When do you rotate the players that are over towards A? Because you have actually one deep planted into attacker side spawn, and eventually, yeah, here comes the call.
And we have 3 on site. We're also, I mean, I love that spawn position as well. Knowing that wall has been tripped, to go ahead. You have the late lurk as well. So
they're leaving.
Oh my! Did they fake the plant too?
You go back? This is weird. Okay. Duelist is out. You have the ability off of the 40-second timer for the cooldown to be able to re-hit. You're double stacked on site. You waited for people to peel away. That was such a mental moment. They don't get the good to go call out of nobody. That Boombot trying to give its life for its master, but both will fall. Renji's going to try and TP to safety, and it's a 3 versus 3 for a map 3, possibly on the other side.
It's a great job of just actually playing the patient game as Roman. They're gonna be able to enter site here. This is basically going to be free on the retake, knowing that some post plan is going to be played. Renji just falls. I mean, the man is blind. He's stunned. He can't really do much about it. There's going to be a fault line coming out. Actually, it's going to be a blind. Going to be able to find one. Can you find the second is the question. Nobody on the spike just yet. They're going to go ahead. I think they're going to decide to push this out. It's going to be dangerous. I love that plant spot, and there it is. It is halved. Jesus, Monkey Man, we're going the extended route. Round 31 incoming.
We are gifted by the Professor Layton curse all the way from GameStop. So, everyone say thank you, Professor Layton, for having quadruple overtime in this same program versus same program matchup to be the Texas representative for CECC. So, you can't script these this way at all. But so far, both these teams really throwing hands, and Eclipse giving everything they got. Great measure, even when they were both very low on health, for the varsity squad to not let that mound position err them. This will be their attack. They're going to try and key up at least having a showstopper. It'll probably be the nearest ultimate they can get easiest. Still playing this cool and calm. You have that 3 kind of positioned out there towards A as they're waiting for this default and someone to step a foot too far.
All right, we see the wall. A couple shots fired. Okay, we spotted that Vice is actually on B this round. Is this going to be a cue to try to aggro towards C? The answer is no. We're actually going to be aggroing towards A. Look at this though, the positioning again, the ability to take that space is so big. Gamble just clutched up here. Are you able to get one? The answer is yes. Maper's going to get the trade, and King has one right on back. Viz, this is just a trade fest right now.
Looking like global scale that we have chosen to run away from. UTD. Oh goodness, Kenrick is going to ruin nobody. Or no, moving the. They're going to get caught. Looking over to. Yep, there it is. Nobody finds him with a wallbang headshot just as he's about to mosey on in. His plant still has to happen, and they have Viz taking care of business against their doppel. 1v2, make it 1. Where does Glory find Viz? They know they just got killed, and they get him from around that box. Viz will clean things up. 3 out of the 4 in terms of match points. Rest with the varsity, and this one most recent.
We've seen overtime go both ways at this point, so I'm not gonna say anything. There's no predictions here. What there is a love of good Valorant, and both these teams are putting it down and giving us just the ability to watch it. And look at this, Gamble actually calling a timeout. This is gonna be the first time Eclipse has called a timeout in the entire match so far.
More hand fighting. Yeah, this time they've added, instead of just slap boxing, they're throwing Pokemon cards. So
did they bring out the Rock'em Sock'em robots and the Sock'em Boppers?
Ooh, do you use one hand for the Rock'em Sock'ems and the other hand, and then you're just like beating each other up, and it's like
each other up while trying to get your robots to win? Oh, dude, that sounds like fun. I'm even though like literally Rock'em Sock'em robots is like a concussion waiting to happen here, because like it still hurts when you punch somebody with those things. I'll die on this hill. It is not.
I mean,
exactly.
you will because of the concussion. Yeah. You die on the couch.
Yeah, later when you fall asleep on accident.
All 90s toys were built for murder. I'm gonna stand. That's the hill I die on.
Yeah.
You tell me that Nintendo Game Boy brick wasn't also supposed to double as a home defense mechanism, and I will argue with you.
I mean, also just like 4 AA batteries in general are a home defense mechanism, so like I digress.
You're like, oh, I've got ammo? Cool.
I got ammo is ridiculous, bro. All right, we're gonna get in here. UTDE trying to stay alive here. 15 to 16. Are we gonna get a spot out? Not quite yet. We're gonna get just a dry swing here from nobody. Gonna be able to shoulder peek. It actually stays alive. Are you gonna be able to find the second? The answer is yes. The King gonna be able to find the opening frag here. GTD Eclipse trying to do work to stay alive here in this quadruple overtime.
Someone let me know if the King got his not just doing like some blase royalty thing, or if they actually did it from all my weeb knowers from Danmachi. So I really need to know. Someone in the chat, I bet one of you has to know. You're in college. Either way.
I would put money on weeb stuff over Elvis, I'm just saying.
Well, hold on. That'd be a cool throwback. That'd be, when he wins, he goes, thank you very much. Just very Texan.
Yeah.
I think his toilet's over there. So, have full site control. Varsity, gonna try and move in. They know there's several angles that have to cover. Gamble on the initial. They will find another one with nobody. This rush now is nothing about this is with finesse or being a genius at the game. It's just about being able to win out. They're gonna use the guided salvo. You have to basically undo. The arc rose goes down. They want to have that blind dry peeking into it, and it's a 1 versus many. As they force them to have to swing, they do so compositely, and we go to quintuple OT.
Yeah, it's a big word. I'm glad these are college students because not a lot of people may not know what quintuple means, but we have HailMonkeyMan here.
Yeah,
dude, in Scrabble probably like 46, depending on what block you're able to put it on. You got to get your bonuses. You know what I mean?
Tuple, point value, Scrabble. Hold on. It is. Oh, there's a Scrabble score calculator.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna figure that out by the end of the broadcast. So
Sounds like a plan. This is a rush down W key right onto C. Who cares? We're better. We believe in our gunplay. We're rocking it out. And Thorn's going down. Shift has made it on site. It's been a little bit damaged, a little chip damage done by the Thorns, but really hasn't found much else. This might actually work out in their favor. Pre-fire around the corner, trying to use that running gun, that precise gunplay to their advantage. Not going to be able to find it. And this is going to be a plant. We're talking 5v5 retake right now.
this is about to get so massively loud. Gamble wins a kill onto Roman from the paint shells as they force them to move. Don't let them plant off of that turn, waiting for the spin of the doors to find something, but no one's coming. And because they did at least get that delay, the plant will be at least off in the corner. They do get rid of one. Gamble is cleared. It's a 3v3. No one's gonna have ultimates again. Just coming down to whoever can be able to hit the sticks a little bit faster, and they've decided C ain't it. I would not be surprised if they decided to just traverse away from B, but they are going to plant tight corner.
Tight corner is there. It's going to be a good spot here, and two are suppressed as well, so you're not going to be able to get that util online if you're going to push quick, but it looks like Eclipse is going to take their time, kind of regroup and plan out this retake. The King obviously coming alongside with their Omen. We're going to see what they can find. Kendrick here has been so clutch. You're going to be able to find the timing. Oh my gosh, the shoulder peek is there. All right, we got the guided salvos coming in. One good shot coming out from Kendrick right now. The swing going to be taken down. Viz has a refrag. Viz has another one. It's going to be UTD able to find the 3v3 on match point once again.
Also, for anyone that was curious and was here maybe 2 minutes ago, quintuple as a base score value is 20. That's pretty big. So,
and how long that word is, you can probably get what about, I'm guessing about 100 and 120 points out of that, depending on where you're able to drop it on bonus tiles.
yeah, that's what, nine separate tiles.
Yeah, that's wild.
Oh, Professor Light knew my Don Machi. He knew. All right, we go into round, what in the world is this? 34. We're gonna be here a minute. What ends up happening at this point? They've cycled through basically the entire playbook, and we're just down to power eye and goal line stands the whole time.
I was about to say, we're running the school. We're running the schoolyard BS right now. The annexation of Puerto Rico is about to come out.
Oh!
As nobody still lands a great headshot on the shift to open this up. And hey, whenever your Vise gets a first blood, you're feeling pretty good about that because the utility from your duelist hasn't been able to been burned yet. So you have still entry potential on top of that.
Yeah, they just slow dragged their feet to be able to find that one. They did not use anything to give away their position. They know the shear is gonna at least be there. That will pop it early, and you have 2 points of contact. You had B, you have C, and you have a varsity group that doesn't exactly know where they should rotate to. They have one long into rubble. The majority will be partying it up here for Eclipse on C, and now that they've at least cleared the sheer wall, they can all gangbuster together, regardless of what might follow. Since Viz is away, the Thorns will not play, and they will be able to get this plant.
This plant is going to be dropped. There's so much space taken. They're holding onto the fault line. They're trying to just secure this, knowing that it's a 5v4. They want to get a little bit more advantage, but that fault line is going to be burned. We're going to hang out. Now we're going to get the plant down. Looking, of course, for the mound plant. The guided salvo is going to come out. Not going to hit anything. Actually going to take a little chip damage off the King, but not enough to really make it that dangerous. Is Viz just slowly progressing up the site right now? What are they going to be able to find? The answer is not much. Is nobody going to be there? Oh, your head gone, sir. This is Valorant. It's an FPS. I don't care about the utility you have. If you get shot in the head, you die. Now here's the turnaround. The blind, but Viz able to bring it back because it was behind them. Luckily enough. Now the spam. Are you going to be able to fight through this? Here is the question. On time, it's going to be Kendrick and Mapper able to get that out. The King has one. Are you going to be able to find more?
Have this done up from the fault line. They're actually just going to full send it. That's it! Oh, the pressure! They stood in the way of it. They stood with the head held high. Varsity will take it over the little brothers of Eclipse. It took quintuple overtime and a heck of a bonus on that big word as we go through 2-0. They didn't drop a map, but man, did their fellow programmers over with the comments make it tough. 34 rounds, 18-16 Visionary. They will be able to be the Texas qualifiers going to CECC.